Hey, what's going on there, YouTube? This is SEL0320. I am back for a brand new non-spoiler review of the show Flash, everybody. So, today's episode was named Grodd Lives. The synopsis reads, Barry must deal with the Reverse Flash's latest threat to a member of the group. To make matters worse, Dr. Wells unleashes Grodd on the city to distract Barry and the team. Joe, Barry, Cisco head down to the sewers to catch Grodd. Barry and Iris have a heart-to-heart talk. So coming off of the last episode, and basically the shock, the shock of love that Iris gets in realization that Barry is the Flash, I had said, I was like, yeah, she's about to give him that business. And sure enough, in this episode, like, you get to see her emotions kind of come out. Some of them negative, some of them positive, but definitely everything that she's kind of feeling, she's gonna be actually projecting in this episode. And sometimes it's not in the best moments, because there's sometimes where it's kind of like catches you off guard what happens. There are times where she even interacts with her dad, with Barry, and she really shows that she's really dealing with stuff on the internal level. But it was really well acted, it was really well done, and it shows the value of the character Iris more than I thought, because there's a specific scene that happens towards the end that, like, I was like, okay, I see why Barry not only needs her, but he loves her, you know. It's really good how they treat her, because she was kind of the narrator at the beginning of the episode, and then they kind of get this person that's a gunman that's like basically like setting fire to everything, but you don't know what it's about. And you know that Harrison Wells has Eddie from the last episode, and the things that he does to Eddie, it's not physical, it's more so along the lines of psychological breaking somebody. And even he shows his red eyes. I thought that was freaking cool. That's the only spoiler I'll say in this one. But you get to see his red eyes come out, and it's a specific moment, and it's something that Eddie says to him that kind of gets him to that point. But their interactions were really interesting. I still don't know what Eobard Thawne's end game is, but he partially tells Eddie a lot of it. And it gets revealed that after this episode that things may never be the same, because his end game basically is about to be revealed. But the star of this show, this episode, was definitely Grodd. Like, the way that they did the CG for Grodd, the way that they utilized the character based off the mythos, and at the same time, you have a gorilla that is freaking huge, that can really crush bone quite like that. And at the same time, he has the ability of getting inside of your mind and manipulating it and bending the person to his will. So he'd have to have the intelligence to be able to do that, but at the same time, he has a primal instinct. So that means that he might just on the flip just want to get somebody to kill. And you get to see that in this episode. You get to see him do some terrible things with people, psychologically and physically, with Barry. And the CG was just on point. Like, when the fight went down between Barry and Grodd, it was pretty epic. And I really didn't know how Barry was gonna really beat him, quite honestly. But I enjoyed it. And I mean, even more than that, like, the characters of Joe and Eddie, they could just kind of be overlooked. Like, with regular shows, they kind of like centralize it on the main characters, you know. But with Arrow, Flash, and even with Gotham to a fault, they know how to take sub-characters and make their value just go up. Because from last episode, I was like, man, whatever. Like, I mean, I hate that, like, Eddie got kidnapped, but I was like, whatever, you know? But in this one, it made me feel for Eddie. And even with Joe, like, the dialogue that Joe has with Iris, with her revelation of what happened with Barry and who he is, like, it's some interesting stuff that comes out of the dialogue with that, and it's real. It comes from a real deep place, and it's been shown throughout most of the episode, but it's just being told, you know, like the decisions he's made, why he's kept things from her, those things. It is a really interesting, beautiful scene between Iris and Joe that I really thought was one of the best of the series, and it's such a touching scene. But yeah, it was done really well. I just enjoyed this episode. Like, I didn't have any real faults with it. I didn't feel like it was too campish. I thought that, like, for them to take like a CG character like Grodd and put him on TV, I was like, man, this is gonna be so campish. But it wasn't. Like, Grodd was actually pretty terrifying, and they treated him well. And at the same time, like, I was like unpredictable, like what's gonna end up being the end game, because everybody has no idea what Wells is doing and why he's used this basically as a smokescreen. And so I get this episode a 9.5 out of 10. I cannot wait to the next episode. And it's only 2 episodes left. So yeah, we got some good things in store. But I'm probably let Joe check this out. I might go back up here and talk about it some more. But yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed this review. If you did, please leave a like below. Leave any comments and y'all thought process about going into the episode, or just please don't leave any spoilers. Leave that on the other one. But yeah, thanks everybody for checking this out. This is SCL0320 signing out. Later, everybody.